of that performance?
I thought it was really good, potentially a very difficult place to go. Any of these teams that you go and visit in Eastern Europe, the crowd's always quite hostile. The whistling is synonymous with that part of the world, but I thought they handled it really well. It was a bit of a dismal first half, but I thought they contained them really well. They didn't really offer that much of a threat. In fact, I thought for a team that could have gone above us and potentially qualified automatically themselves, I thought their approach to it was alarmingly poor. But the lads did a really good job, scored 2 good goals, and probably could have had another couple on top of that. So anytime you go away and win in Europe, it's a real bonus, and they solidified their place in the top 3.
Our head coach, Ruben Amorim, has been very vocal about the aggressive attacking style that he wants. Do you think that the FCSB performance was something that he would have admired and something that he would have hoped for?
Certainly in the second half, without any question. Even though, like I said, FCSB didn't really pose much of a threat. They could have gone a goal up, they didn't. And from then on in, especially from half-time onwards, I thought United it was a real solid away performance. And yeah, we know that there's going to be improvements to be made. But if you look at, I said, the last 7 games, we've held an imperious Liverpool side at Anfield, could have won the game. We've knocked the second best team as it stands in the Premier League out of the FA Cup, and we've won 4 out of the 5 league games. So we've got nothing to complain about in the moment, and hopefully this team will just go on improving, scoring more goals and winning more games.
Now, speaking of our head coach, Ruben Amorim, he arrived about 10 minutes earlier here, and he was making sure he got to know the fans a little bit. What do you think about that unique relationship between the fans and the head coach? It's great to hear the support for him.
Yeah, I realise that, he's come in the middle of a season and he's arrived here, and he arrives really early, and normally he just walks straight in. But today he's been around pretty much everybody that's been here since, I don't know, a long time before he arrived, and he's signing autographs and having pictures. Listen, he's a really amiable guy. There's no question about that. Being in his company, you can see that. Very personable, but he's also got that ruthless streak that you need to be a manager at a top club. And Manchester United is a top club, and we've already seen elements of that. But yeah, it's fantastic that he's stopped and is starting that rapport with the fans.
It's been an interesting week for the Reds to see that personality from Ruben Amorim. We've seen it in the open training session with all the fans, obviously wishing him congratulations on his birthday, wanting that camaraderie around, and then we've seen how passionate he was on the touchline when we were at FCSB. He's got plenty of emotions.
Yeah, he has, and everything that you would want from a Manchester United manager. He kicks every game, and you can see that there's constantly things going round in his head. If there's something not quite right, how can he change it? And he does. He wanders up and down. He's probably mentally drained and physically drained, as physically drained as the players when he comes off after 90 minutes or so. But yeah, I think he's doing an absolutely fantastic job, and I'm sure that everybody else does as well. It's going to take time to implement everything that he exactly wants from the squad and the way that they play. But these last 6-7 games, you can't help but be impressed.
It's quite interesting in his interviews that he's had. He's always said to focus on the performances rather than the results. And if you look at the performances, do you believe that we've improved step by step?
Well, I think there has to be a time when you do look at results. And, there are times, for instance, Southampton, when the result was much more important than performance. And if you go back a couple more games before that, the performances against both Liverpool and Arsenal were brilliant. And they got positive results out of those as well. I think that they do come hand in hand. The Southampton game was a little bit different. It was imperative that we won that. We will soon start to see results following really good performances. I can feel it, and I can actually feel it today.
Oh, well, if you can feel it, then that means we're in for a good day.
Hang on a minute. I predicted 2-0 on Thursday night. I'm not going to get it right twice in succession as long as we win, but I just feel as though when this team clicks, I think they could really give somebody a good hiding.
If you're right today, that means you're picking my lottery numbers for next week, Ben. That's what's going to happen.
I'm picking mine first.
As long as you share, then that's fine. But let's focus on today, because, as we said, it is a big game against Crystal Palace. And a win today, right here, would be our 4th on the bounce in all competitions. Do you think that shows that we're going in the right direction?
Definitely. If you're winning games, you are going in the right direction. And it breeds confidence as well. Like I said a few moments ago, we know that there are going to be improvements to be made to the overall performance. But when you're winning games, then that starts to come in, not in droves, but if you're just getting better and you're improving with each performance and you're getting the results as well, then all of a sudden the players start puffing their chests out and they think, hang on a minute, coupled with performances that we've already given this season, if we can do that on a more regular basis, then they will start climbing the league and they will have opportunities, good opportunities, to win trophies this season as well.
We have got some of the players arriving now too. Diogo Dalot is usually one of the first players that arrives here at Old Trafford. And I think he has to arrive early because he pretty much gets through every single fan here.
Yeah, it's amazing. He is the first to arrive and probably the last to go in because he does sign so many autographs. And I was so pleased for him in midweek as well that with the fact that he's not actually playing in the position that he would probably prefer, that he was in exactly the position where he should have been, playing in his position when the ball's on one side, for him to have a simple tapping at the far post. It's simple but really, really effective.
You've seen the excitement post-match when he was chatting to representing other half, Sully, talking about how much it meant to him to have that goal, because in the previous seasons he has been great at goal scoring. Yeah,
and we're more used to seeing Diogo Dalot, smashing balls in from 20-25 yards. So it was a completely different goal that he scored, and more often than not with his right foot rather than his left. But it just shows what an ambidextrous footballer he is. He's got two great feet, he's got a really good engine, and he was in there, and he's got a footballing brain. He knew exactly where he needed to be, and he gave the lads the perfect start to go on and complete a really good victory.
It was a vital goal as well that just brought energy into the squad, and you can see the happy faces here from the fans having these conversations with him. It's nice that he's always so personable with the fans, isn't it?
Yeah, he is, yeah. It is. Like I said, always the first one to arrive, always got a smile on his face. And he plays the game in exactly the same way, in that he gives everything. He's out here giving everything in a different way. He's giving things to the fans that they may not ever get the chance to have. And then he goes onto the football field and gives 100%.
And that's exactly what you want. Ruben Amorim says he wants to see those standards being lifted. Do you believe that Diogo Dalot is one of the players that you always know that he's going to put that effort in?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And it seems to be at the moment, and hopefully it will be going forward, he's getting that out of every member of his squad and every first 11 player that he picks. And Diogo Dalot has been one of those on a regular basis. And you can see why, because his enthusiasm for the game, the way he's still willing to learn, because we forget that he's still only young, even though we feel as though he's been knocking around for ages. So, no, it's brilliant. Morning, how are you? You okay?
You've got a little hello from Dalot yourself.
Yeah, well, he's just that type of person, isn't he? The type of people that you want in a dressing room. Sorry, I'm in your way.
I mean, it's always nice, isn't it? He's always got a smile on his face.
Yeah, he has. Yeah,
I mean, what do you think about his mentality?
He probably believes that he can improve and he can get better. He's been playing away from his favourite position. He obviously would prefer the right-hand side, but listen, he is the type of player that he's so versatile and that will give a manager anything that he wants in any position, and he's an invaluable member of this team.
And speaking of characters, it wasn't just Diogo Dalot that scored that goal, it was Mainoo. What did you think of Kobbie Mainoo's performance on Thursday night?
Well, he played in that little bit more of an advanced role, and I thought he was really good in the second half. And he probably realises that he might have had a goal even too in the first half. But what I loved about the goal that he actually scored was that it was identical to the chance that was created for him by Rasmus Højlund in the first half, that he put over the bar, that he probably knew he should have scored. So for the same thing to happen again, and for him to, in that split second, make sure that he controlled it so much better, I just thought he had a really, really good game, and he was very influential.
It seemed that all the journalists were talking about that performance too, and talking about how intriguing it was when they seen that lineup, about Eriksen and Kobbie in their roles too, and how important they were to the play.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I didn't have Kobbie playing in front of Bruno Fernandes, but it worked. in the first half, it took a little bit of time to get the patterns that surely Ruben Amorim would have talked about before the game, but we still created chances. But in the second half, the difference was that we created more chances and we took them. And it was important because for the confidence to have a clean sheet for the defenders, to score a couple of goals away from home, okay, FCSB weren't what we thought they were going to be, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and that's what the lads did.
Well, I feel like I want to speak to the fans, especially the ones that met Diogo Dalot earlier, so
Go
do you
for
want
it.
to try and stay warm, Ben? I know that the cold doesn't treat you too kindly, does it? Let's have a little wander. Hi, how are you? You okay?
Yeah,
I just seen you guys meeting Diogo Dalot. What was that like?
good.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
It's like I'm liking this little union here. You could have your own little five-a-side team, couldn't you? So that could work out. Which is the player that you're going to look forward to seeing the most today? Who are you thinking?
Canacho,
Why do you like Garnacho?
he's good. He's skillful.
Sounds good to me. What about you?
Good.
What player are you looking forward to the most?
Kobbie Mainoo.
Did you enjoy his goal the other night? Did you get a chance to see the goal? Or, to be fair, it could have been past your bedtime, actually, on Thursday night. Make sure your parents show you that goal because it was really good and you can ask him about it when you see him. Yeah? But good to hear from you guys. What's it like bringing your little ones here?
It's amazing just meeting the manager and all before you come in there. Makes our time, so it does.
What was that like? Did you get a chance to wish him luck ahead of the game?
Yes, just come good luck, and he took his time to sign everybody's shirt. Really makes our time, our trip here good. So it does.
Well, that's great. A great moment for you. Well done on meeting the gaffer then. Take care. See you soon. Great to hear from them. Now, we've got a flurry of players coming in, so come on, Ben, I need my partner in crime back. I do. We have got a flurry of players, as we said. I mean, it's always good that you see them coming in groups, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole cluster of them coming in now. So I don't know how many of them are actually going to stop, whether any of them will. I mean, as long as they do, nobody's expecting it for every single game, but most of them, in fact, I think in all the time that we've been doing this, all of them at some stage or another have stopped and signed autographs. And it all depends on the weather. They're not going to stand outside in the freezing cold or the wind, and it has been like that from time to time.
Not like you, Ben.
But not like me. And to be fair, Diogo Dalot does it and all, so...
I might need a new presenter then if you can't have these cold conditions.
It's going to get warmer. It's going to get warmer.
I'll ask Diogo. He comes early enough. But I can see we've got the players walking behind us as well now. You've got Ericsson and Collier together. But this is great to see the chemistry with them, that they all want something together. They're starting off that camaraderie for their match day already.
All arriving together. It's a team game, isn't it? So I don't know how they managed to all arrive together, but they pretty much do. And we've got Ahmad walking in as well now. Harry Maguire. We're going to miss them all. They're just going to walk straight through.
I think my favourite thing is watching you trying to pick out what player it is.
I know.
It's a great game. We can hear the cheers already for Ahmad. Ahmad has done so well for the season, as we said. How much do you think that this season is going to help his development?
Oh, massively so. I mean, we know that he went out on loan. He went up to Scotland with Rangers. He was sensational at Sunderland, and all of a sudden he's come back in. And probably there were many people, myself included, that perhaps didn't think he would have the impact that he has had this season. But where would we be without him, with his goals and with his assists? And at times he's dragged the team through. We mentioned the Southampton game before. Fantastic hat-trick, won us the game. It was so important, that game. And now we just want everybody to be up to those sorts of levels. And slowly but surely you can see that is happening and that's working. The manager is gradually getting what he wants. He's implementing a different system that they're starting to